Ready with me while I tell you about the worst guy that I feel like I've ever talked to or that I've ever met. Like we can go out if we stay consistent because I'm not really good at texting.
Those are lines that you learn from somewhere. It's like a script. So you got to learn the script from somebody and somewhere, and you learn it from weird dudes online.
You're not ready for this third leg, he said. I don't want to sit in your car. Like, sorry, I don't want to eat. Let's go to Smoothie King. What the f? So I said, this sounds like a setup. He says, a setup, you're not special. Oh, okay.
So you only set up women who you find special? Because he didn't say he would never set a woman up. He said, you're not special.
Ready with me while I tell you about the worst guy that I feel like I've ever talked to or that I've ever met. Now, he wasn't a cheater. Well, he could have been. He wasn't like I never got close enough to him, but he was just really fucking weird. So let me tell you about it. So I met this guy and I kept seeing him all over my school. When I would tell you like, okay, I know that you're probably like, what? Like, you see everyone all over. No. My school was really big and like, I didn't have no classes with him. I didn't have like, I never saw him in classes. I would just always see him like at different shit that I just wouldn't expect him to be, or like he would sit next to me at random shit that I'm like, what the fuck? So one day I just talked to him. One day I was just like, you know what? Like, I don't know, this is weird, but like, let me talk to you. So I said, hey bro, like I be seeing you everywhere. And he's like, no, for real. Like I be seeing you everywhere. I'm like, I know, it's crazy. So that's when the love story started. So we started texting. He was like one of those like nonchalant guys. He was like, oh, well, like, what are you doing this? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, like, I'm not doing nothing Saturday or whatever. He's like, oh, like, we can go out if we stay consistent because I'm not really good at texting. Okay, like, keep in mind, like, bitch, you know me, guys. Y'all know me. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't care. But, I didn't really give a fuck. So, honestly, like, once he told me that, I'm gonna be honest, I stopped texting him because I was like, you're kind of weird, bro. Like, that was a weird thing to say. We keep texting. It was fine. And he had asked.
That's the when dudes say that type of stuff, I feel like that is from being like perpetually online. That's a byproduct of that. That's a byproduct of like consuming a lot of red pill content, or you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. Because you don't like that's not how you think as a man or a boy or whatever. And you don't really, that's not a natural way to feel or think. Like, oh, if we stay consistent, like you don't think like those are lines that you learn from somewhere. It's like a script. So you got to learn the script from somebody and somewhere, and you learn it from weird dudes online, right? I've never, I've, I've never thought like that. I've never played those games or anything like that. And before the internet, like I don't know, my friends didn't really do that. I didn't really see a lot of that. I it's not something that I really heard. And then again, since the advent of social media and the consumption of it, subsequently, a ton of boys and men are perpetually online, and they like develop these scripts. It's a game because they really don't know. A lot of these dudes don't know what it's like in the real world. They're being manipulated by idiots online that also have never been in the real world, or by men that have been in the real world, but they're just feeding these guys bullshit because it's entertaining for the men, and it keeps the men coming back. So then they get online and then they meet a person in real life. They start talking to a woman in real life. They say the line that they learned online, and the women are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And it doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't jive. It doesn't go. It's crazy.
Weird, bro. Like, that was a weird thing to say. We keep texting. It was fine. And he had asked me that night, doing tonight. And I was like, oh, well, like, actually, I'm not doing anything. I got out of school. I'm not working. Like, I'm not doing nothing. Do you want to do something? And he's like, yeah, like, let's go eat. Do you like ramen? And I'm like, yeah. Now, my immediate thought is like, okay, first of all, good at making decisions, period. Let a plan, love that. He also was a gentleman, told me that he could come pick me up. But I was like, oh, like, no. No, I don't want you to pick me up, but I can like go there. I can drive there, which I didn't drive at the time, but I digress. The next thing that he says is, oh, like, let's go. Let me pick you up and let's go to Smoothie King. And I'm like, Smoothie King? What? And he's like, yeah, like we can go to Smoothie King and then I know this great spot and we can just sit and talk. Okay, this is getting a little suspicious. So I'm trying to read the vibes. I then realize that the great spot he's
What happened to ramen? Y'all downgraded from ramen?
talking about is a parking garage and then sit in his car and talk. No, no, okay, I want you to like hear me out when I say this, that I want to like let everyone know my idea of an amazing date is literally sitting somewhere with a good view and just talking, eating food. That's a vibe. But like, can we like meet first maybe? I don't know, like to me, just the whole thing plus his personality, because his personality wasn't giving me like soft lover boy. His personality was giving me like player. You would know. You would know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I don't feel comfortable with this. My intuition is telling me no. Now, after this situation, I had went on a date almost like that. Not parking garage, but like we just sat somewhere and talked. And to me, that's a date. Maybe that's not a date. But anyways, and
Man, it's a date when you're in fucking college. You know what I mean? You're an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid in college. Yes. Doing that type of shit. That's why when we have these discussions about like coffee dates and Cheesecake Factory, I'm always like asking for qualifiers. I'm like, well, okay, what age are we talking about? At 43, no, going to Cheesecake Factory, I feel like probably, early on, especially shouldn't be something that we should be doing for the majority of Americans. For the majority of American men, I don't feel like Cheesecake Factory is a real acceptable first date. Depending on your town. I live in a very sleepy town, right? Though I live in California, I live in a suburb in California, right? Suburban area. Our restaurants close at 9. You know what I mean? Like I live in one of those towns. Nothing really stays open past 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Um, most of it is like commercial shit. There's like Angus Backhouse beefsteak place, Outback, Chili's. We got all the like chain restaurants or whatever. You know what I mean? So if you were trying to date in the city that I was in and you wanted to stay in the city that I was in, there really isn't much to do beyond like chain restaurants. So I don't think that that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that that's like, you know, I don't think that it's crazy. I don't think that that's crazy, right? But generally speaking, depending on where you're at, depending on your age, depending on your income level, da 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 da, I think going to Cheesecake Factory, I think going to Chili's, I think going to, Outback Steakhouse, I think that these things aren't acceptable dates early on. Eventually you can end up at these places, but early on, I don't believe that. Coffee dates for 30, 40-year-old people, I don't feel like those are places that you need to be dating at early on. You can end up there eventually, date number 20, 15, but early on, I feel like you should be doing substantial things. Not over and beyond necessarily, but just like very intentional, thoughtful things. That's what I believe. If you are a fucking 20-year-old kid, a coffee date, a fucking ramen noodle date, a smoothie king date, yes, these are dates. These can be considered dates, I'm saying, in most cases. In most cases.
me like player. You would know. You would know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I don't feel comfortable with this. My intuition is telling me no. Now, after this situation, I had went on a date almost like that. Not parking garage, but like we just sat somewhere and talked. And to me, that's a date. Maybe that's not a date. But anyways, and it was fine because that guy gave me this comforting vibe that wasn't like, I want to fuck, I'm desperate. Because with this guy, the way he was texting me, the way he was talking to me, it was just weird. I was honest. I was like, I'm not trying to say that you are being inappropriate at all. Like, I want you to know that this is not personal thing that I'm like, this is not personal.
Hold on, let me read this here. It says, keep in mind, I wouldn't say this to every man I go with. Got it.
Personal of me to say. But I do want to let you know I'm not doing anything physical with you. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to get there and you be like, oh, well, you wasted my time and like I bought you something. Like, you know how guys are. I didn't say all that, but I'm telling you, like, you know why I would say this. So I'm like, yeah, like I don't want to waste your time. I'm just not really into doing anything physical. I'm not into, none of that. And I've been on dates before. Now I've been on dates before where I didn't say that at first and they forced themselves onto me multiple times, up to 6 times before I left. Like, seriously. So understand why I would say this. He's a man. Now, I knew if he got defensive, I wasn't going to go at all. And he was like, oh, like, who said anything about getting physical? I'm like, well, I didn't say that. I didn't say that you said that. I'm just letting you know. Just in case that was your intention, I don't want to do that. And he's like, okay, well, like, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Fair enough. Fair enough is the proper response there. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I totally understand. No worries. Yeah, I wasn't. That wasn't my plan. That wasn't my intentions at all. But I appreciate the candidness. Anyways, let's go eat ramen and go sit and watch the fucking sunset. Like, this is such an easy thing to like. You know what I'm saying? Like, get past if you're a man and you're not a creep and you weren't. This is why I be like on some real shit. This is why like I really be talking to men about not having expectations and not being entitled. The only thing you should expect is to have a good time. I think that's a fair expectation to have because that's also really big, is really has a lot to do with you too. You know what I mean? Like so if you have a lot of control over you guys having a good time. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna put my best foot forward. I'm gonna try to have the best time possible. Try to make it, a good environment for her and I. That also means making sure that she feels safe as a man. Like that, like I really try to convey that to men. Like stop being entitled. Stop feeling like when you go on a date, like what is your expectation outside of getting to know her and having a good time? That's one and two and one and two and you're done. That's it. I don't expect anything else. I don't expect anything else. Again, I can tie into the having a good time. Of course, she's not on her phone. She's having a conversation. You know what I mean? She's paying attention. Like these are things that she has to control or whatever the case may be. And as long as I'm engaging and as long as I'm not being a creep and as long as I'm not being a jerk, then yes, I think it's fair to expect a person to reciprocate those things. There's no problem with that. These are reasonable expectations. These are very reasonable expectations. If you're taking a woman out though, and your expectations are anything beyond that, especially early on, you need to temper your expectations or don't take her out. You don't, that's it. And or actually, because you probably should do both.
Well, like, you're not ready. You're not ready for that. Like, you're not ready for this big dick. Ready for it. You're not ready for this third leg, he said. Immediately uncomfortable. You said that as a joke. I'm not fucking joking because nothing's funny about you forcing yourself onto me.
That wasn't a joke.
And that's what I was like. I'm not saying, okay, you know what I am saying? I am assuming I am saying because, and that's okay. And that's okay. Because a man is a man. Sorry, not all men, but like most. In a parking garage, there's no way for me to prove that he's touching on me. If there's not people, it's late as fuck. So if he did rape me, no one would fucking know. Do you know, people, like, let's not be stupid, guys. We know how these things hold up in court. Now, I know I'm jumping to conclusions. I know. But I simply was just like, I don't want to do that.
These are fair jumps. These are fair jumps for average women. This is not even like, you know what I'm saying? Like women, like sex workers or women living like extreme lives, quote unquote. Just the average woman, college girl, college woman. We all know our college boys are, right?
Guys, we know how these things hold up in court. Now, I know I'm jumping to conclusions. I know. But I simply was just like, I don't want to do that. That was really what I was saying. I don't want to sit in your car. I want to just go out to eat. So he texts me. He's talking about some options. He's like, okay. So I said, I don't want to go. After you said the whole third leg comment, I told him I didn't want to go because I was uncomfortable. And that's the truth. I don't care. Call me a lame ass bitch. I have some self-respect and I'm not going to date a guy who talks like that. So then we can just go as friends. First of all, can we not go as friends and still not be sexual? Like, you know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? Just jumping to conclusions. Maybe I'm just being a little extra. So I tell this guy, I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's go out. And he said, let's go eat. Forgot what the food was. Burgers. I'm like, okay. He then was like, okay, well, I'm dropping off my homeboy. I'll call you. So I'm like, okay. So he calls me. And he's like, actually, I'm not hungry. I said,
Because he had smashed his homeboy on the. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
okay. He said, let's just go to Smoothie King and like we can just sit in my truck in this parking garage. How many fucking times? Okay, first of all, I already told you twice that I don't want to fucking do that. So I hang up, I text him, or he hangs up. It was really weird. I was like, I don't want to fucking sit in your car. Like, sorry, I don't. So he's like, okay, whatever. So I leave him undelivered for hours, about like 9:30 at night. I text him again. I'm like, what are you doing right now? And he's like, oh, like, I'm on the way home. Like, do you want to go do something? We can go eat. So keep in mind, then I said, okay, blah, blah, blah. We continue talking. He then goes, actually, I don't really want to eat. Let's go to Smoothie King. What the fuck? So
You know what I think? You know what I think he would have done to her? Because he kept saying Smoothie King. I think he was going to put something in her smoothie. I think he would have put something in her smoothie. And I could be jumping to conclusions, but yeah, because he kept like he needed her to drink something. You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm saying that. It had to be a drink. So he needed her to drink something. He put something in her drink. They go to the parking garage. She becomes disoriented, and then he does what he does. Like that's his MO. That's what I'm guessing. And I hope I'm wrong, but like because why? Why are you so like? I've never had Smoothie King. I'm pretty sure it's the same as Jamba Juice and whatever other smoothie place. Why are you so? Why does it have to be smooth? I don't know. It just he wants her to drink something. That's what it sounds like.
want to eat. Let's go to Smoothie King. What the fuck? So I said, this sounds like a fucking setup. He says, a setup, you're not special. Oh, okay, that's funny. So then I was like, okay, great. So then
So you only set up women who you find special? Because he didn't say he would never set a woman up. He said you're not special.
want to eat. Let's go to Smoothie King. What the fuck? So I said, this sounds like a fucking setup. He says, a setup, you're not special. Oh, okay, that's funny. So then I was like, okay, great. So then by the end of it, he kept pushing for he wants to sit in his truck and just fucking fuck, basically. So I was like, oh, like, I don't want to get sexually assaulted tonight. So, like, I'm really good. Thanks. Like, you're so pushy. It's really scaring me. And he was like, oh, like, you're not worth going to jail for. Okay. Okay. So he kept texting me. I never talked to him again. Because I don't know. I'm not saying he was going to do anything.
He would have definitely did something. Also, did you see him at school after this?
But, like, why were you so pushy? I feel a little. What? Like, this is so weird. Like, you're weird.
You did to me. She was really young too. I don't know. She kept even entertaining the idea, shows her age, but she did right. She protected herself. That was good. She listened to her intuition, logic, all that stuff. It was there. She did nothing wrong. Yeah, that dude just sounds like that was his MO. He definitely sounds rapey as fuck. Without a doubt. No question. College girls, man. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. College boys are so unstable. Jesus Christ. So weird. So very weird. Yeah, man. Teach these boys to not have entitlement. Teach these boys to respect women. Start young. The younger the better, please. Way before college.